Hey, welcome back, guys. Welcome back to another episode of One Take. We got yet another good one for you. Not that any of them are bad, but so today we are going to be talking about what are some great performances in either bad or just like mediocre movies. Like Bruce really stands out, carries the movie to where it's at least somewhat watchable. And with that being said, Dave, if you want to start things off, feel free.
Sure. And I think I will start with an extremely recent one. And this is one that people might not be the most happy with. But you know what? We're putting it out there. I'm going to say, and
Yeah.
actually, I forgot to grab the other name here, but I'm going to say Jafar Jackson as well as
Mhm.
the kid who plays the young version of Michael Jackson in this year's Michael movie. Um,
Okay.
there was a huge discourse, if you haven't heard about it,
Right.
between the critics. A lot of critics really hated on the movie. A lot of fans really enjoyed it. People who enjoyed the music, they had a good time with it. I
Sure.
think that the movie was mediocre, I would say. I mean, I would call it
Okay.
literally mid. Like I'm right down the middle with it. Yes, the music's fun,
Yeah.
it's a good time, but there's absolutely nothing in between. All of the in between is
Hmm.
just not compelling. I don't learn anything more about Michael Jackson as a person, which is what I would want out of a biopic.
Right.
And so,
Well,
not a
they
movie
are
for
making
me.
a part two, so
Maybe part two they dive into it deeper.
yeah,
I don't know. The thing is, the family's so involved with
hopefully.
it, and they don't want to any sort of slanderous
Yeah.
imagery, and that's a big
Yeah.
problem because, in my opinion, they depicted Michael as not even human in the movie. He just seems so
Well, yeah.
infallible and so perfect of a person, and it's like I don't, and I'm not saying
Well,
you
yeah.
have to get into like the controversy. The movie doesn't even reach the point where that's even an issue. Like I'm not saying that, but just
Hmm.
like there's just nothing dramatic to the performance really, which is why it's
Yeah.
kind of hard to really praise Jafar because he's just not given a lot dramatically, but he's just so incredible
Right.
at capturing the energy and the vocal performance and also the behaviors as
Sure.
well were certainly there. And I think
Hmm.
I'm not sure if I would want to give him a win for best actor. I could definitely see him being a nominee for best actor this year because I do think he
Probably
was
will.
I think he
Yeah.
was really really good. So I'll start with that. Jafar Jackson as Michael.
Yeah. I mean, I have yet to see that movie. I'll get to it eventually. Um, but yeah, I've heard pretty much exactly the same stuff you have. So I guess if we're sticking with recency, I will go with an also 2026 movie. One that was kind of under the radar. It didn't really get much advertisement. I actually haven't really heard of it until I just randomly saw it. But I'm going with Tom Blythe in Wasteman.
Hmm.
I don't, I don't know if you've ever heard of this
I have
movie.
not heard
I
a thing about this movie.
yeah, I
Tom
forget if I
Blythe, good
told you
actor
about it
though.
or not. He was excellent in this. He was honestly the reason why I stuck with the movie. I thought the movie was actually it's critically acclaimed. I'm pretty sure Rotten Tomatoes gave it like 100%, which is like
Wow.
baffling to me. Um, but the movie itself is just like nothing about it made any sense. I was like, so it's a prison movie. It felt like almost a knockoff of Shawshank, but very much poorly done. Um, but put in with like modern elements that just like completely ruined the movie and make it not make any sense whatsoever. Like to me, it almost felt like a summer camp movie than they were in a prison. I know it's confusing to hear, but like you have to see it to like actually
That's the
understand what
thing.
I'm
I don't know a
saying.
thing about it, so I'm like, what? That's
Yeah.
crazy.
But Tom Blythe, if you don't know him, he was also most recently the main male character in People We Meet on Vacation. You might know him from that, but he plays the villain in this. I think he was an excellent villain. Like he totally hooks me in. I was like, okay, this guy is good. Like he needs like a better movie with the same role. And honestly, I think he could be nominated for like some kind of award. Like he was that good.
Wow.
But the fact that the movie was so bad, it just made me lose interest in every aspect of it, if
Hmm.
that made sense.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I got from that first pick.
All right. Well, with my next pick, where do I go from here? I'm gonna get a comedy pick out of the way because comedy can always be a tricky
Ah,
one. I'm gonna go with,
sure.
and I don't know how you'll feel about this one. This is kind of a weird one
Mm,
too. Jonathan Heater in Napoleon Dynamite. I'm not entirely sure if that's how you pronounce his name, but
yeah,
as Napoleon Dynamite.
it's been a very long time since I've seen that movie, and I've only seen it once. I was not a fan of it,
Neither was I.
um,
Neither was I.
and I don't really. Yeah, actually, I probably agree with you. He did a good job.
That's the
Yeah,
thing of portraying this really like kind of geeky, weird
yeah,
dude, like
hmm
this nerd guy
yeah,
that is just so kind of he's just goofy, but like
right.
he fits it so perfectly and he fits the movie really well
He
and
does.
you still have those emotional moments and those fun moments that I think really work as well as they can, considering the writing for that movie is something else, if you ask me.
Sure.
Not a
Yeah.
movie I find very funny, but
Yeah.
I can recognize, at least in this movie, that I think his performance is pretty solid. And then you have that whole
Mhm.
dance sequence, which became iconic. I think he's great, doing that. And
Sure. Yeah,
I
that
think,
that was probably like the only good part of it. But
and
yeah.
that kind of just caps off, what his character is, and kind of his
hmm
arc. So that was really cool.
Cool. Yeah. Um, I mean, I get for my next pick, I guess I'll go with like a generic, well-known answer. I'm gonna go with Margot Robbie in Suicide Squad as Harley Quinn.
Oh, I can't believe I didn't think of that one. That's a good pick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought you were gonna think of that, which is why I did
I
it so
should
soon.
have. I should have.
But yeah, Suicide Squad, the original and the remake, I'm not really much of a fan of. I think they're borderline bad, but I would call both mediocre. Um, Margot Robbie, born to play Harley Quinn, she
Yeah.
completely nailed it. I forget, or actually just don't know if she won any awards for it, but if she didn't, they should get on that very soon. Even though it's like posthumous, all that stuff.
Posthumous.
Well, not that she died or anything, but like I don't know the right word to say, but you know what I mean.
It's a little late, yeah.
But yeah, a little bit. But yeah, nobody has been able to play, as far as I've seen. I'm not even much of a um, Batman DC kind of fan, but like for what I saw from her, I was like, that's Harley Quinn. Like you can't beat what she did.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure there's really been another live action Harley Quinn besides Lady Gaga in Joker 2, but
I
is that
Yeah, I
even
never
Harley
saw
Quinn?
that.
That's a whole other
No,
thing.
no.
Funny call out there. Keep that in mind in a second.
For sure.
Um, but yeah, I mean, Margot Robbie, one of the best working right
hmm
now. I don't think we're ever going to see her do Harley Quinn again. I'm not sure. I don't know what the deal is with that, but I doubt it. Because
I don't
that's the
know
old
if there
DC,
is.
and
Yeah.
also I think I don't even know if she still wants to do. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with that, but yeah, that was an incredible casting from the get go, and
hmm
yeah, she is really just perfect for that role, and just
Yeah.
getting the insanity and
Yeah.
everything that comes with that character. So
hmm
yeah, well, I'll stick for my third pick. I will stick with the DC
Ah.
Joker-esque uh, element, and I'm gonna go to Joker 2, Joker Folie à Deux,
Mhm.
which came out a couple years ago now, and that was a
Sure.
stinker. That was a real stinker. And
Okay. Yeah.
I was also looking for, I wanted to get at least one, maybe like sort of supporting role, so I'm gonna shout out
hmm
Lee Gill
Lee
as
Gill.
Gary
Okay.
Puddles in Joker 2. Very, very
Sure.
small role. He's barely even in the
Mm.
movie. But there's this one scene, the one scene that he's in is probably the best scene in the movie because it is
Mm. Okay.
during the trial where um, Joaquin Phoenix, Arthur Fleck, is defending himself during the
Yeah.
trial. He's in the clown makeup and everything. He's making an absolute fool of himself. He's psychotic. And obviously, the trial is like everybody's watching it because, of what happened in the first Joker, blah, blah, blah.
For sure.
And they
Yeah.
bring in Gary Puddles, who's like, he's the little person I don't know the proper term, but he's
Oh,
he's the
that guy
he's
from the first
yeah,
movie.
yeah, from the first
Okay.
movie, who witnessed him killing his buddy,
Okay.
who
Yeah.
and they all worked for the clown group or
I never
whatever.
saw the second one, so yeah.
Well, in the first one, they all worked in the clown group or whatever,
Well, yeah,
whatever you
yeah,
call
yeah. I
that.
know. I'm
Yeah,
just saying, like, I never saw the second
yeah.
one, so
So
I
he
don't
witnessed
remember. Yeah.
Arthur Fleck kill his friend and everything, and be
Yeah.
absolutely insane. And so then in the sequel, they bring him as a witness in the trial, and he has this
Mm.
really emotional moment where he
Okay.
tries to
Yeah.
get to Arthur's emotional core, and like really like you
Mm.
just feel the emotion of like
Yeah.
he plays extremely well in the first movie, and he brings it right back in the second one, where
Cool.
he's super honest and upfront about how terrified he was of Arthur and what happened,
Mm.
and how much it really impacted him. And
Yeah.
out of nowhere, because most of the movie's just weird and an absolute joke, and then all of a sudden this scene hits and you're like,
Sure.
damn, what a great
Mm.
like scene, what a great moment. And then the rest of the movie
Okay.
happens, and it's
Yeah.
like whatever. But don't recommend the movie, but just that one scene, really good. Lee Gill.
I'll see if I can find a clip of it and check it out.
Yeah, yeah, it's really good.
Um, so for my third pick, I'm gonna go with what I believe it was an independent film. Brian Dennehy in Driveways. It was released in 2019. I believe it was like an hour and 20 minutes. I watched it like a week ago because I saw a clip and it got me interested.
Mm,
So basically, the premise of the movie, if you haven't seen it or anybody else, is this woman and her son go to this little small town to clean out her sister who recently passed away, and it's just a complete mess. And then the neighbor is a old war vet, so he's has that kind of like don't bother me kind of attitude, like the typical movie war vet scenario. But I think he just played the part very well. Like I really felt like the stories he was telling, um, like his whole attitude throughout the whole movie. I mean, the movie itself, I think it was one of those movies that has had so much potential, but was so poorly executed. Like I
mm,
saw, they kept bringing up good stuff, but never developing more into it. They were like, okay, this is a thing. There you are, and then did nothing with it. Yeah. Um,
well said.
and it also felt very rushed too. I wouldn't call it a bad movie because again the potential of it, but it is very um, overrated because it is critically acclaimed and just a mediocre movie. But he was definitely the highlight through it, and the best performance, of course. But yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So, moving forward, I'm going to go back in time a little bit
Mm,
to A Time to Kill. This is a
mm,
90s um, legal drama. We're going back to court again here. This
okay. Yeah.
It's Matthew McConaughey in the starring role.
Of
Sandra
course.
Bullock's in there,
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson's in there, Kevin Spacey, really stacked cast.
Mm,
Donald Sutherland, I think, or Kiefer Sutherland, one of the
Kiefer.
Sutherlands.
Yeah.
But really stacked cast.
Yeah.
Bad movie, bad movie. It's just
Sure.
it's interesting because a lot of the performances are really good. I could probably put any of those cast members I just named in here, but Matthew McConaughey is the main star who gets the most stuff to do. So it takes place in the rural South during segregation. Samuel L. Jackson's daughter, young daughter, like maybe like 10 years old or something like that,
Mm,
gets sexually assaulted by a couple of white young adult like
mm,
rednecks,
okay.
and he gets so pissed off by this that they are getting sent to trial. The two white dudes are getting sent to
Sure.
trial, and but everybody knows they're going to get away with it because it's
Hmm.
white on black segregation. And
Yeah.
so Samuel L. Jackson takes it upon himself. He hides in the courthouse, okay,
Oh, okay.
with a
Yeah.
gun
Oh,
because he's so pissed about what happened, understandably so.
sure. Yes.
And he's waiting in the courthouse, as
Mhm.
as everybody's arriving to the courthouse, like the jury,
Mhm.
the judge, everybody all at once is arriving at the courthouse and walking in, and they're bringing
Yeah.
in the convicts, and
Yeah.
he comes out and opens fire and kills both of them. And so then that's like
Mm.
the setup. That's like 15, 20 minutes in, or I don't know how long.
Oh,
It's been a while
okay.
since I've seen
Yeah.
it. But then the entire movie is Matthew McConaughey is a lawyer trying to defend Samuel L.
Mm.
Jackson. And now he has to face the entire community of white people who are now hate
Sure.
Samuel L. Jackson, and
Mhm.
now they hate Matthew McConaughey. So there's really interesting dynamics there. And then
Sounds good. Yeah.
and then the Klan gets involved. On paper, interesting
Mm.
story and stuff, but I've heard that Samuel L. Jackson had a lot more that he originally shot, and then a lot of it got
Mhm.
cut out. So Samuel L. Jackson's character
Wow.
is hardly realized throughout the film, even though he's
Sure.
literally like one of the main key players here.
Mhm. Yeah.
And um, basically, long story short, Matthew McConaughey does really well overall. Dealing with the family drama because his wife is upset that he's defending this man and putting their family at risk,
Mhm.
and then interacting like with the clan members and things like that, and like all the tension going on there, and then all the court
Yeah.
stuff and like the speeches and stuff like that, all the lawyers speak and everything. He's really good. He's really emotional. He
Sure.
has this pretty relatively famous kind of final words. I forget the name of like closing statement. His closing statement's like
Mhm.
really iconic. And
Okay.
he's really good. Uh, and the only thing is, on top of like a lot of the moments just were kind of awkward with like the clan and stuff like that. But I'm not gonna get too much into my review of the movie. But not a very good movie.
Okay.
And then at
Yeah.
the end, what really seals the deal is that Samuel L. Jackson, spoiler alert, Samuel
Uh-huh.
L. Jackson somehow is completely acquitted for his
Mm.
crime of shooting two men who are handcuffed, walking into the
Sure.
courtroom in front of literally everybody, literally in front of the
Yeah.
jury that has to
Mhm.
decide. Like, we understand what
Mm.
Samuel L. Jackson's character did was totally justified for what happened.
Sure.
But that being said, if we're in a court of law, how in the hell does he get out like
Yeah.
totally scot free? Like, why don't you just have it so that he like gets a shorter sentence? Okay, that's fine.
Mhm.
But we're literally the trial's taking place in like Alabama or something in like the 1930s, and you're telling me that and it's an all white jury. And you're telling me
Mhm.
that because Matthew McConaughey's speech was just so good and that he defended him so well,
Yeah.
even though the jury literally watched him commit the crime. If they
Mhm.
saw you commit the crime, how could they possibly say you're innocent? Like it makes zero sense.
McConaughey's just that good,
I
man.
guess
He's
so.
just
And you
that
know what?
good.
Shout out to
Yeah.
McConaughey's performance. I'll leave it there. Matthew
Fair
McConaughey is really
enough.
good in the movie. Is it worth watching the movie for it? Up to you if it sounds interesting, but
Sure.
there's just some very very frustrating moments. If you just took those out,
Okay.
honestly, good movie. But there's just
Mm.
some moments that are just so egregiously bad, and also the lack of use of Samuel L. Jackson. That is always a
Mm.
crime. If he's in your movie, let the man cook.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Fair enough.
A Time to Kill.
Yeah. I might check that out actually. It sounds interesting, but we'll see.
You might like him more than me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Okay. So pit number four. Yeah. Yeah. I'll do this one. Okay. So I am going to go with a pick of who I have brought up in an earlier episode, but Georgina Campbell in Barbarian.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Georgina Campbell, again, very big fan of hers. First time I actually saw or even heard of her was in Cold Storage of this year. Then I went back to watch Barbarian and a couple other films I forget the name of. But yeah, Barbarian, it's just fine. It's very overrated. It's okay. She and Bill Skarsgård are definitely the best part of the movie. It felt very. It got to a point of where the movie felt very almost like it was doing too much and also directionless at some points because yeah, at the point of when Justin Long's I guess story came into the actual story, it felt like a switch to a completely different movie. And I was like, okay, let me see how this plays out. And then at the end, I was like, okay, I could care less about Justin
Yep.
Long's story in the movie. Like it would have just been honestly, it probably would have been like a really, really good movie if they just stuck with Georgina Campbell and Bill Skarsgård. But Georgina Campbell again, excellent performance. Virtually, from what I've seen, everything she's in, she completely amazes me, and just the way she is able to uh, facially act, feel emotion, all that good stuff. Um, yeah, just really wows me and everything.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree on that one. Yeah, it's a good choice. All right. My next pick and my final pick it will be
Yeah.
is going to be a rough movie.
Okay.
Super. Uh, I believe James
Super.
Gunn's directorial debut, and the lead
Mm.
role is Rainn Wilson, most well
Really?
known for being Dwight
Okay.
Schrute in the American version of The
Sure.
Office.
Mm.
And really strange movie. Really strange. Not for me in the
But yeah.
slightest. Really
Yeah.
strange sense of comedy. Basically, the story
Mm.
is that it's a guy who has this. He I, b- I already forget if his wife left him or if his wife died. I believe his wife just
Mm.
left him or something like that. And so
Sure.
he kind of loses his mind over
Yeah.
that, and then he has this like epiphany moment, and
Mm.
we're not sure if it's real or not. Well, at first it doesn't. You can't really tell, but then you realize that like it's all just in his head and he's crazy. But basically, something
Okay.
happens, and there's this really weird tentacle stuff that happens, and he thinks that he
Okay.
becomes a superhero. And so,
Hmm.
basic. Do you
All
know the
right.
movie Kick-Ass?
Yeah.
It's
I've
very.
never seen it, but I know it.
Do you know the
Yeah.
premise of Kick-Ass? It's very similar.
Not really.
Oh,
Yeah.
Kick-Ass has a very similar
Okay.
premise
Yeah.
where it's like a guy
Yeah.
thinks that he could be a superhero, so he just goes out on the street. Except Super
Oh, it's a
plays it
superhero movie. Okay.
much more
Yeah.
dark comedy. But it's not a superhero movie. He's not actually
Sure.
a superhero, so he just gets his ass beat.
Yeah.
And then sometimes he beats up
Okay.
on random
Yeah.
guys. Like sometimes he wins, sometimes he loses.
Hmm.
Um, and just a really weird sense of humor. And then he gets this sidekick played by Ellen Page. Really, really weird dynamics. There's this
Mm.
one scene especially that will forever stick in my head because it is absolutely awful and disgusting and bizarre. And I think it's supposed to be
Okay.
funny, but it's gross. It's really gross.
Yeah.
It has to do with their dynamic and how it relates to him having lost his wife. It's really
Sure.
bad. So really bad
Okay.
movie, but honestly, Rainn Wilson, he just has like it's not too dissimilar to Dwight Schrute in a way. He's
Mm.
just a really
Okay.
strange, kind of not fully there guy who like,
Yeah.
but like he's also got like this kind of you do feel bad for him, you know. It's not like he's like
Hmm.
some psychopath. Well, he is a psychopath, but like, but in a way
Okay. Yeah.
that's like you still want to watch. You're not just like, oh, this
Right.
guy is just
Yeah.
such a maniac. I don't want to see this. Like, it's kind of
Yeah.
funny, and it's really goofy, and
Mhm.
it works a good amount of the time. So I wouldn't call it a great performance, but it's really good at fitting the movie that he's in, despite the movie
Fair
being
enough.
pretty bad.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah, I do not recommend that movie. Out of all the movies I've mentioned today, that is the
Uh-huh.
last one anybody should watch, please.
Mm. Interesting. Okay.
James Gunn's an interesting guy. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, a little bit. But I mean, he has Guardians. Guardians
He
of the
does have
Galaxy. You gotta
Guardians.
give him credit for that.
Absolutely. No, I will. I will.
Yeah.
Just, yeah. That's a different
Sure.
movie.
Right. Yeah, my last pick is going to be slightly controversial for the people because typically the people like this movie, but I was not really a fan of it. But Ethan Hawke in The Black Phone.
Really? You think so
Yeah,
you're negative on the Black Phone?
I didn't. I thought it was very okay.
Okay.
Like,
I thought it was
it,
okay too, but I think okay positive. So you're okay negative, kind of.
okay, negative.
Yeah.
I'm more on the negative side.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd call it be too harsh on it and call it bad because it is unique. But it is very, very,
Okay.
very okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but Ethan Hawke, I believe this was his first ever like villainous kind of role, if I remember correctly. Um, but he plays the role so well. Like he nails the like the awkwardness of the character, but also is able to touch into like that like his evil side because he goes after and kids kidnaps kids and kills them and all that stuff. So obviously that's pretty bad. Um, but yeah, when he like, I feel like even if he didn't have the mask he wore and just had some kind of like facial makeup or something, I feel like you would still feel the kind of terror that he like um, puts out in the performance. Like the way
Hmm.
he talks, the way he moves, it's very ominous, and I think he just nails it.
Yeah, I
Even in
totally
the
agree.
second one too. The second one, yeah, that's a different story. But he does a good job on the second one too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's unsettling throughout that. I mean,
Yeah,
It's Ethan Hawke, man. He's incredible. But
right.
yeah, I agree. All right. So that is it. That's our each of our five picks for
Yeah,
good or great performances in not so great of movies.
yeah.
So thank you guys so much for joining us once again, and we will see you guys again in the next one take.